This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org. I'm Amy Goodman in New York with Juan Gonzalez in Chicago. As much of the United States marked Labor Day Monday, more than 10,000 hotel workers with the union Unite Here went on a 3-day strike across a number of U.S. cities.
No pension, no peace, no benefits, no peace, no respect, no peace, no contract, no peace, no respect.
Hotel union workers are fighting for wage increases, better staffing levels, fair workloads, and respect. Today, the third day of the strike, taking place at 25 hotels, part of the Hilton, Hyatt, Marriott, Westin, and Doubletree chains in 9 cities: Baltimore, Boston, San Diego, San Francisco, San Jose, Seattle, Honolulu, Kauai, and Hawaii, and Greenwich, Connecticut, and more. For more, we're joined by 2 guests. Lizzy Tapia is the president of Unite Here Local 2 in San Francisco, and Rebeca Laroque is a striker and room attendant at the Hyatt Regency in Greenwich, Connecticut, has been a room attendant for over 12 years. Lizzy Tapia, let's start with you. Explain the strategy here, the cities you've chosen, the hotel chains that you're negotiating with, and what you're demanding.
No, we've been in negotiation for months now, and we have not seen the kinds of proposals that our members will, that will meet our members' needs. So we've been on strike. Today is day 3. There are 7 cities that are out today, and it's about 9,500 workers that are out here on day 3. And, we're looking for a contract that meets what we need to be able to survive, especially here in the Bay Area. Cost of living is so high, and we need to see good wage increases and health care, retirement plan. And this is also a fight that's really about respect. And so we're hoping that these companies, Hilton, Marriott, and Hyatt, will get the message.
And Lizzy Tapia, are these the only hotels currently that Unite Here has expired contracts with, or is there a larger universe of hotels that you've decided not to strike at this point?
Yeah, there's definitely a larger universe of hotels, but we've been in bargaining with these typically for the past couple of months, and so that's where we're at today.
And in terms of the differences in pay scales between some of these cities, so for instance, for housekeepers in Boston get $28 an hour, whereas in Baltimore they only get $16.20. Are you trying to create some sort of more rational system across the board nationwide?
I would say what is consistent across the board is the need for very significant wage increases. Everyone is struggling, especially coming out of the pandemic, to make ends meet. And that might mean different things in different cities, but what it means across the board is we need big wage increases, meaningful wage increases, where we can actually afford to survive.
I want to bring Rebeca Laroque into the conversation. Can you talk about what you do at the Hyatt Regency in Greenwich, Connecticut?
Yes, I'm doing room attendant.
And that means explain the work that you do and what do you want to see happen and how do you think the hotel is responding?
Okay, like a room attendant, we clean room every day. That's my job. And you said what I'm waiting for, the hotel is gonna be attendant?
How is the hotel chain, how is the Hyatt responding to the strike outside that you're a part of?
Okay, they don't say nothing for now, but hopefully we're waiting for an answer. But I don't say nothing for now.
And also, could you talk, a lot of hotels now allow guests to opt out of room cleaning. How has this affected the workload and the conditions of the housekeepers?
Okay, for all those housekeepers, we working hard. They give you a lot of room every day. We're working hard. And that's why we complain about that. Not only we got a lot of room and we got a lot of job to do, and then we don't pay well. That's why today we are on strike.
And Lizzy Tapia, could you talk about this issue of guests being allowed to opt out of room cleaning and what that does to the workers in the union?
Yeah, Rebeca is absolutely right. When hotels no longer provide automatic daily room cleaning, it creates a workload issue for room attendants who are, cleaning those rooms. When a room is not cleaned for 3 days or 5 days at a time, it's sticky, it's dusty, it requires double the amount of work to clean. And hotel companies don't then adjust your workload, right? It just means that room attendants, like Rebeca said, go home and they're tired and their bodies hurt, and it's totally unacceptable. And it's also, I think it's sort of creating a new model for guests to just not expect that their room will be clean. So, or not get that as part of what they pay for their room. And so it takes away from the guests and from the worker, who those who are working double as hard, and those who are not working because rooms are not being assigned are at home trying to make ends meet, trying to get a paycheck that they can survive on.
And Rebeca Laroque, can you talk about the workforce? Is it largely made up of women and immigrants? And if you can talk about the financial instability you've experienced and your coworkers have experienced working at such a prominent hotel, the Hyatt Regency. People associate that, of course, with wealth, but those are the guests.
Okay, all my coworkers always complain every day. Not only the job is hard, and then we can survive with the money they pay us. And when we finish work, when we go home, we can do nothing, because every my coworkers have a story, because we working hard, and then the money they pay you cannot afford nothing with this, because everything's going up. That's why we ask for a better wage, health insurance, and pension, because we cannot afford nothing. And Connecticut is, all those things is very high. After the pandemic, everything's going up.
Yes, I'd like to ask Lizzy Tapia, you declared a 3-day strike. Why 3 days, and are there possibilities for extending the strike?
Yeah, there are no plans right now, but future strikes are possible. Our members are committed to do what it takes to win the contract here. And like Rebeca pointed out, people are tired, they're hurting, they're struggling. And so, we've reached this point, not because we really ultimately want to be in this position, but we're really committed to winning a contract that's fair here. And part of this action was about really coming out on Labor Day and being together on Labor Day in so many cities all together. But there are no plans right now. There are possible actions in the future.
Time, Lizzy. The demands around wages, staffing levels, fair workloads, what are the sticking points in these contract negotiations?
Yeah, I mean, you spelled them out, Amy. I think that what our members are experiencing is really about disrespect, and the fact that these hotel companies are cutting amenities and cutting services. What that means is that without automatic daily room cleaning, or the bar and restaurant being closed, the limited hours of in-room dining or no in-room dining, limited hours on pools, or closing of fitness centers, all those kinds of things translate to our members not being able to work. Members who previously cleaned the lobby at night won't be there. Members who, bartenders, servers, food and beverage workers not being there. That's, people are at home. And then for those who are there trying to make up for the lack of staffing, their workload is really hard. It's much harder. It's 2 or 3 times harder than it used to be. And so I think a lot of our issues are really about respecting our work. And that's partly why we're, have that message, and also respecting our guests. Those things are really related. And so it might come down to money for the bosses. And like Rebeca said, there's a lot of economic issues for us too, but I think largely what it takes to resolve this is really about respecting our work and respecting what we do and bringing hospitality back into those hotels. And that's how all these things are sort of related.
Well, we want to thank you both for being with us. Lizzy Tapia, president of Unite Here Local 2 in San Francisco, and Rebeca Laroque, striker and home and hotel room attendant at the Hyatt Regency in Greenwich, Connecticut, has been a room attendant for over 12 years. Again, this strike against Hyatt, Hilton, and Marriott. Marriott owns Westin, and Hilton owns DoubleTree.